The wellspring of creativity and innovation found in this impressive and varied group of young storytellers, musicians, artists, artisans, truth seekers, and stewards of culture augurs hope for our nation's prospect of a better shared future.
A lot of this work of folk life and folklore is elder practitioners, the elders, the ancestors, and that's it. That's our foundation. But these people start somewhere. I'm Michelle Banks, and I'm the lead curator for the 2025 Smithsonian Folklife Festival program, Youth in the Future of Culture. When we think about culture, there's this beauty that children have. And so Youth in the Future of Culture looks at young people and their role in populating the cultural landscape, how young people engage with culture, how young people are working to transmit culture, how young people are innovating culture.
It was really important to me that the youth be center of this work, but also that they're centered alongside their mentors and their communities. I'm Sabrina Lynn Motley. I'm director of the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. My hope was that people would connect and see this as meaningful, both the participants and the visitors and the staff. And I think that happened. I wanted to see that reciprocity of energy and sharing and knowledge and skills. And so to me, thinking about youth and also thinking about those that mentor them, it was all about what kind of ancestor do you want to be?
My journey here to the center is not an academic journey. My journey here to the center is as a young person just coming out of high school and meeting Olivia Caraval, who was a curator in this office for 30 years. And Olivia is now an ancestor. It was people like Olivia and people who mentor and nurture and give. And it's like someone like Olivia who was, take this book, read this book, look at this, taste this, touch this, smell this. And there's all sort of these experiences of all these things that she shared with me.
Olivia, she was an amazing person and mentor. And it was because of her that I came here. I think that Olivia is in a lot of what we do, especially this year for 2025. She was always present, and even after she retired, she was at every single festival. This year, it still felt like she was there.
There's so many people who've walked these halls who have contributed to that work. People like Bernice Johnson-Reagan, who spoke, sung, taught about the importance of that intergenerational transmission of knowledge. Kate Rensler and the work that she has done here at the Center on children's folklore and folk life.
So this idea of mentorship to me is just really important because these are people who see these young people for what their possibilities are. And for me to be able to do a program where I can celebrate those young artists, but also the people who mentor them was just like, this is what I wanted to do. Marjorie has been doing this incredibly beautiful work with master builders forever. And this was an opportunity to her to take that work and look at it from the perspective of these master builders and the young people who have decided to take up these trades.
My name is Marjorie Hunt, and I'm the curator of the Next Generation Artisans in the Traditional Building Trades program. There's so many young people who are interested in learning the building arts and highly skilled, experienced craftspeople who are dedicated to passing on the knowledge and skills to the next generation. And so this program was all about bringing those two folks together, the young people who want to learn and the craftspeople who are dedicated to teaching.
There aren't a lot of precedents for what we're doing in the Park Service, bringing young people in who have little to no experience with the trades or preservation and making that content relevant to them, and then getting them engaged as practitioners and giving them the skills and the knowledge and the ethos to carry that forward. But that is the way the trades have been taught for centuries. 5-10 years down the road, you're in the position of becoming that knowledge bearer who knows those practices and passes them on to the next generation.
When the blade stops, you're gonna pull. Our job as the youth is to keep that tradition kind of going. And I think more about the historic preservation than anything else when it comes to jobs, because I think the work we do out here is so important. I'm happy I'm able to provide these skills and teach these kids and stuff that I was getting taught at a younger age. It's great, and I'm extremely, extremely happy to see like the kids coming. Honestly, it like relights a fire in my eyes to see kids coming and enjoying the stuff that I love to do.
Being able to have my grandfather as a master craftsman teach me, especially at an early age, being a teenager, working my summers in our studio, it has been such a valuable asset to have his knowledge and his education in what we do. I can't get that anywhere else. He's always there. He can always guide your hand and show you exactly what needs to be done.
I'm encouraged by the younger generation. I'm encouraged by the fact they want to work with their hands. I'm hoping with all of these efforts and apprenticeships and training, there'll be an abundance in the future.
I love this relationship between young people and these elder generations, and the idea that young people are going to be able to carry tradition on, but give it their own stamp and their own spin in a world that needs their creativity and imagination and vision.
It's really important to us to use the same
Great.
In working on the music apprenticeship program, we really got to, from scratch, create the vibe of all the spaces. I'm Christina Diaz-Carrera, and I'm a curator for the music apprenticeship and streetwise areas of the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. The young people, they wanted to connect to their heritage, and so that ability to kind of like be in a program, like embed yourself into the cultural landscape. So that was like really the lens that we were looking at. We were trying to look at these different programs that did it in different ways, but are like connecting kids to the history that they come from. Where do you practice? Where do you learn? What kind of workshops do you want to, connect with the public on? And I mean, these kids had so many creative ideas, and so, we just, had, like, our job was fun in terms of, like, connecting with these young musicians and just trying to create a space where they could do what it is that they wanted to do.
Starting off young, I have a lot of opportunities, and I can meet so many people. I have, like, great life ahead of me, I would say, because I've started so young and I could just keep growing and growing better.
So with artist mentorship, because we use art to mentor our kids, and I love that because it doesn't mean we mentor them into being musicians. It doesn't mean we're mentoring them into anything specific. We're mentoring them in the way of, this is how you can come into a community and be still an individual and grow. Rebel Song Academy, the name alone kind of makes you feel like you're joining like the ragtag group of, like-minded individuals. Okay, but you're gonna help me on that chorus, but it's quick. All right, I'm like, it can only get better. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
I joined Mariachi Tesoro like a year ago, but I started in their program, which is Mariachi Master Apprentice Program, 2 years ago. I do think it connects me to my roots because there's like a lot of history. It originated from Mexico, and it kind of goes into my identity of being a Mexican American because it started traveling to the United States. And it lets me meet a lot of people who are from Mexico, from different places. It's kind of like being passed on a mission because we're trying to keep the stories of our families and of our countries alive. And I think that's really amazing because a lot of it's really beautiful. And I feel like really happy that I get to do that.
I'm Mary Lynn, and I'm the curator of the Native Language Reclamation in the U.S. program. So the Native Language Reclamation program and the festival this year really focused on showing how youth are instigators and drivers of Native language reclamation. And by language reclamation, I don't mean just language, just learning their language, but also reclaiming aspects of their culture where language is embedded. Language revitalization efforts are not ultimately a story of loss or of deficit, of what people don't have anymore. The interesting thing is not that. It's what's happening with the younger people. How many people are learning? How many people are speaking? How many people are using the language outside of school, outside of the classroom or what their learning environment is?
So, Jinigaliwis ni shigadawayas takwe ladiwana nielats goayats. Wagadiandala for what gatige and down gatige soon at Dagadohetste. Then a gitko ayunkili wanundo se oh nashale nona tasadohetste na yasada sundala ongohoneha asadadi. Then toshi gahawi wahya te the gayanda kwe jinu awanda jik unkakiaya ne nek na ayunda sundala ayundewianste na gowana. Yotkade onikji jiundewian stakwa ahodio dasala. Tano yahne dewagelani ne ankeli hunya ne ladiksa agua. Tano yate wagada dewiana da ne lona de hialon san keli hunya. Wagade tsana yanda kwe gila ne okna hoda angeli wasaluni jinu awando ganada gunsum. Ayagwa gat the lolage, then nek auskunga ne hayagwa galadum.
This way!
The first program that I really wanted to secure and make sure that they wanted to come and felt comfortable being here was the Miamia Center at Miami University of Ohio and the Miami Tribe of Oklahoma. I felt like they knew me and I hopefully could trust me that this was a venue that their young people would be able to learn something from and feel safe presenting themselves as early language learners. Also, they represent a lot of tribes and nations that have no fluent first language speakers.
Aya Mishingwimisha Wenswiane. Hi, my name is Michael or Mishingwimisha. That means Bur Oak in Miami Altawenge. The only thing I knew about my Miami identity before going to Miami University was the name of one of my ancestors, which was Mishingwimisha. And I think that connection has really come full circle with me. Our elders are not the knowledge base for the tribe. It is those working in the Miami Center that is where the knowledge comes from. So a lot of us going through the Heritage program are some of the most knowledgeable in the tribe, and we hope that as we all start to age up, we can become Miamia elders in a way that we can continually share our knowledge that we keep growing.
Intergenerational transmission is the focus. The vision of that is something that actually drives the work that I do, and it drives my effort. That I see myself as an 80-year-old, 90-year-old, 100-year-old woman. And I'm surrounded by our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. And when we look around, all you can hear is us speaking our language.
One of my mentors actually started off in my church. She introduced me to the Growing Griots Literacy Learning Program, where I met so many ancestors and men and women who have just fostered this knowledge and confidence in me when it comes to storytelling, especially when it comes to ancestral storytelling, because I'm giving power and light to the stories of my ancestors who have gone through some of the most horrific things in this country.
So the word Smithsonian Storytellers, this idea of young people who have really committed to craft in that way. You think of like storytellers as being elders, but there's a new generation of young storytellers that's coming about. Hip hop and lyricism sort of falls within that as well.
Yo creo que el hip hop es libre. Tú puedes hablar de lo que sea, pero el hip hop también es una herramienta que ha nacido en barrios marginales al principio. Y como que el hip hop te da esta herramienta de poder decir lo que quieras.
Para mí es una oportunidad de mostrar mi idioma, ¿no? Y también mi cultura y las fusiones musicales con las que nos hemos presentado, tanto Andes MC y mi persona en el performance. Y es bonito que me escuchen, ¿no?
Ella no sabía escribir ni leer, ella sí sabía cantar y tejer. Ella no sabía hablar en castellano, pero siempre amó a todos sus hermanos.
El Folk Festival trae personas que son artistas, necesita poesía, literatura. Creo que eso es lo especial del arte, que es un espacio donde puedas expresarte, ¿no?
We know that there are poets in New York and Chicago and DC and Baltimore, and those are big cities. All of our poet laureates came from places that were not big cities. All of them come from rural communities, and that was a very deliberate choice.
Poetry is a question, it's not a problem. There isn't one answer, it can be whatever answer you have within you that you want to answer the question with. Poetry can be used as a rallying cry, as a way to reach out to other art forms, and I think that's so inspiring because we're actively changing the culture.
I think the point of change and the growth that we had throughout our lives is that we introduce new topics and new methods and new traditions while also incorporating those that we had from the past.
You guys all won the Poetry Slam, yay!
MOCAT is the Museum of Contemporary American Teenager, and it started in 2017. They have, for the last 4 or 5 years, been doing these pop-up exhibits, sort of thinking about teen life and teen culture, teen angst and teen experiences, and some of it using more traditional art, some of it installations that address issues such as mental health and social acceptance and identity and belonging and that sort of thing.
So the MOCAT proposal was that the students wanted to create kind of the iconic spaces of teenage experiences. So that included school spaces and home and third place or outside of school or workspaces.
So we started off with an initial concept of a school hallway, and basically the hallway would kind of branch out and have different third spaces for teenagers, places where young people spent their time. Since then, we've evolved the concept, and we have now the classroom, which is kind of our main narrative stage and where we talk a lot about academic issues. Then we have the bedroom plus the closet, which is kind of the teenagers' identity.
In the bedroom, they made posters and collages, they made friendship bracelets, which is so fun, but they also used it as a space for intimate conversations centering around diary entries, teen experiences, and coming-of-age moments.
And then lastly, we have the bathroom, which the bathroom is kind of the social space, because you know how in schools, kids will go to the bathroom kind of in herds and just hang out there.
They wanted to create kind of the most positive, interesting, and uplifting aspects of what those spaces represented to them. So in the bathroom, we were spinning off the idea of graffiti on the bathroom walls, but making it about expression, building one another up, and teenage creativity.
I think the biggest thing that sets teenagers apart in this time from the rest of teenagers in time is social media and the internet. Because I think, a positive of it is how connected everyone is and the globalization which has come out of social media. And it sort of creates these communities that sometimes you can't find in the world around you. It allows them to, one, find their identities, find what they love in ways that might not be accessible around them. And it allows also kids to have an outlet if maybe, where they live isn't, safe for them to express themselves, or they don't feel as if their community will accept them. The phrase youth and the future of culture really just evokes pride in me because of the way that teenagers can finally be appreciated for what we do. And young people, we do all these amazing crafts. You know, people make beautiful art, people make movies. I know lots of people that have their own radio show as teenagers. And I just think it's brilliant that this festival allows teens to have a platform where they can finally express all these brilliant things they do.
Emerging media for me includes all kinds of media. It can be film, can be video. It can be also work that's made just for social media. And in terms of the emerging media makers, they can be people who are young, happen to be young, youth media, but also I think it encompasses folks that are having their first engagement that have not studied formally to be filmmakers, but are taking on some kind of media making as a practice. I'm Amalia Cordova. I am supervisory museum curator, and for the Folklife Festival this year, I was in charge of the emerging media makers venue and activities. We developed a schedule of screenings, workshops, and other kinds of presentations, which we called activations. So the radio brought a vinyl painting workshop. The Action Youth Media brought oral history recording. So each group had kind of its signature events, and we added some poetry and zine making activities. We could see that the thread of continuity of tradition actually permeated all the media projects in some way, shape, or form.
Who I am. I just wish the world was wheelchair accessible.
So I think the youth are showing us ways to break up the kind of predetermined media that we're all getting.
I understand is not everyone has access to cameras, not everyone has access to fancy equipment. And so what I really am a big advocate for is using social media, YouTube, TikTok, these free platforms, using your iPhone, because at the end of the day, what I do is just storytelling, and anyone can tell their own story.
I think that oftentimes we feel like we have no power to do anything, and understanding that something as making a documentary or even just posting a post on social media can make a difference. And you have that potential to do those things. Maybe it seems like it's on a smaller scale, but it can have really big impact if you just start doing it.
I sort of discovered that filmmaking was this intersection between all areas of the world, between technology and humanities and culture and art. Filmmaking is a way for me to not only continue my legacy, but the legacy of my family and my people and my community. Within Ghetto Film School, something that has been told to us is to make stories that only you can tell. And with my cohort and this next generation of filmmakers, I've seen that people are telling the stories of their community and their history, stories that we've never seen before. And I think that's so beautiful because within those stories, I found that they bridge gaps between communities and generations. And that sense of interconnectedness is what makes film such a special medium.
We have powerful source of expression. So that's why I think we are going to be the ones who are going to shoulder the future as well as the past. So I think it's a phenomenal virtue to be young in this era, and especially a youth that is making media, because that's a language and art spoken, consumed, and seen by the majority.
So the Streetwise tent was this massive tent on the National Mall that included the lowrider section and skateboarding, DJs, muralists, graffiti artists, and sidewalk astronomy. I'm Andrea Mayorga, and I'm a curatorial assistant for the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. As far as the different groups we wanted in there, we really left that up to the participants to decide how they wanted to organize the space once they got there. Streetwise is really this idea that people, and in this case youth specifically, they approach their space or the communities that they find themselves in with this knowledge or resourcefulness that really comes from on the ground experience, so to say. And I feel like a lot of the times they do that through these creative processes.
Graffiti just caught my eye because there's so much vibrant colors you could see, and a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of different styles of it and all of this. you could just like do whatever you want. It's just a way to express yourself out there and just put yourself out there in the world.
Street culture, I feel like for the most part, it usually grows out of some kind of like marginalized community. So I feel like, you know, the youth today especially, like they recognize that. And they also recognize the importance of intergenerational knowledge exchange. And so I think that street culture really emphasizes the importance of these family traditions that are being passed on and what that means for like the future in general.
What I want people to learn from us is like how we are as a community. My brother, he's actually part of the program now, and he was asked, what made you join the Oregon Trail Bike Club? And he's like, I saw the cool bikes my sister was making and working on, and it inspired me to join. The funnest part is honestly like just working together as a team and being able to bond over these things that we do together.
You go to a festival, you expect to see music, you expect to have food, you expect to like have dancing and crafts, you know, like, but sport, occupation, those are things that sort of people are like, wait, this is culture? Oh, wait, this is like, you know, a community. And it's a very important community, like for youth across like many decades.
Sava has tailored their entire school to focus on technical education. They take that final step to help exercise the tools and knowledge that's already in place to give them something they can carry home to say, I have pride in what I did, I have excitement in what I did, and I can do that myself as a career.
All the skateboarders I talked to talked about how like inclusive skateboarding is, how it's like a space of connection. And I think the public really felt that too, right? That they're coming in and like these, you know, instructors and young skaters, like the energy that they had, it's like, you know, this is a space where we want you to come in. We're like extending our hand to you.
I've been skating since I was 4. My dad first started skating and he was like a professional skater. Then when my sister got born, she like got on with him and also started skating. And then I got my skating from my sister because I saw her skating. And then now when my mom had another daughter, which she now watches me skate, and like she's getting better.
Especially with youth, I feel like sometimes they've either been told that they're not welcome in certain spaces or they find themselves in a space where they don't feel welcome. And I think they all have very like different like creative outlets to combat that.
The energy that you put out onto your skateboard and you put back out into your community is the energy that you're gonna get back. And it's a true sense of like individuality, but also like discovering more about you and putting your twist and your touch on things. And like, I think it's really cool that especially like random kids from all the different areas can show up here and they can see lowriders and they can see skateboarding and music and really see how much of a community skateboarding can be.
DJs play a huge part in fostering community as well. I would walk over from like the lowrider section to where the DJ booth was just to find like it completely crowded with people dancing along, and you had that all day too. So every DJ has their own like style and like set that they have planned and like the kind of music that they play. And with that, you get a group of people, a community that come out and see this DJ. So it's just been really interesting to see like how connected everyone is through music. So just to be able to see the DJs on the National Mall and spinning what they were spinning and like seeing all these people come together for that, I thought that was honestly beautiful.
To bind together. I like the way you're going.
Thinking about how hip hop and food are actually like a really strong link that I don't think that people always see. I feel like so much of hip hop is about like creative exploration, and so much of cooking is that also. So much of a chef's persona and what they choose to make and what they choose to serve has to do with like, you know, their creative interests and where they come from, and in this case, like their cultural identity. So Eats Plus Beats is like a direct reflection of that.
Is that how you do yours? That's how I do mine. Okay. Yeah, but I learned.
My name is Lyra Gilmore. I'm the Food Waste Program Coordinator for the Smithsonian Folklife Festival.
We're going to add this very slowly, and you're whisking as you do it. You're whisking to prevent the clumping. And then when you add it, we're going to turn this pan down.
My favorite part about participating in the Folklife Festival is collaborating with these wonderful DJs. Everything has been very organic. It hasn't been rehearsed. So everything that we're doing on stage, we're meeting for the first time. He's creating a beat, I'm creating a recipe, and we're vibing out together. And the audience gets to see that firsthand. I love that experience.
I think a lot of people think that food waste is like the science of food or nutrition or some kind of like, I don't know, food science related study, but I think that it's really just about like food and where it comes from and the patterns of food and how artisans have food and dancers have food and everyone at the festival, especially like in the context of this work, where their food comes from and why they eat it and where they get it.
And then it's that kick.
We also have like, most of our participants are made up of people who are just home cooks or people who want to share their recipes or people who make something with their family member. And so I coordinate that with the curators and their participants. We come to them and we say like, what is a story that you have about food? Whether that be like a recipe that holds a lot of significance because it's something that you remember and you make it all the time. Or it could also just be that like, maybe you like have a memory, like a distinct memory of like, oh, you know, I used to make churros with my grandmother and like this is how we made them. So we kind of like trace that memory.
And there's a lot of people in our community who make jam and jelly, and my grandma particularly would make seven-berry jelly.
So she's got corn flour in there, and I guess we'll just start by talking about our corn. Corn is a really important part of our traditional diet.
Made African instruments, a contag.
This was like one of my favorite curating stories of this year. We talked to the Delgados about what they wanted to make, and he had expressed that we can make anything. But what we landed on was tortilla because he said, you know what, I don't actually know how to make tortilla, but my two daughters, they definitely do. And he was like, what if we go on stage and we switch? They're gonna teach me how to make tortilla. And so it became something that I don't think that we've really done that much on the food waste stage, but I would love to see someone learning.
With her hands, but we're not gonna do that. Anyone who has a pride after you finish that. Yeah.
The Delgado family are an intergenerational luthier located in Nashville, Tennessee. Manuel and his two daughters, Ava and Lila, represent the third and fourth generations of traditional Mexican-American luthiers in their family.
I was just always surrounded by this whole instrument making process, and my dad was really inviting to let me come in there in the mornings, grab pieces of wood, glue them together, make different projects out of them. It doesn't really feel like work. This is just something that we all do together as a family and we're all really passionate about. So building something together. Just the art of making something by hand, it instills in you a feeling like no other thing does when you are making something that is truly your own.
We have two pieces. This was originally made one piece of wood, and we cut that in half, and then you'd open it up. You have it like this.
So it's going to vary from instrument to instrument. And what I always like to say, when I say 45, only one of those 45 is a steel string guitar.
With Learning Together, we were interested in exploring how young people learn about traditional skills, stories, and different forms of knowledge outside of the framework of school lessons, classes, books. I'm Rebecca Fenton, and I am curator of the Learning Together program area at the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. So we were interested in working families, how they pass their skills on to their kids over time.
And I tell my daughters this, it's like you're not just representing yourselves, you're representing your family name, you're representing the sacrifices made by your mom and I, your grandparents, great-grandparents. So it's wanting to make sure that we're demonstrating excellence in everything that we're doing, including how we serve our community. So I learned so much from my kids, yeah. They've taught me to live in the moment. It's really important for me to be present and be there with them, because I don't get those moments back.
Culture can't live if new people, young people aren't learning it. They inhabit their traditions and make them their own. So one thing that we saw across the whole festival program, as well as in the Learning Together area, was that ownership and belonging in a tradition that young people display as they not only develop like technical mastery in their crafts, but also to gain the knowledge and confidence to share that tradition with others in their turn.
My siblings have just started out doing it, and we've all been in the saddle shop since we were little, and we would go to the scrap bin and just take our own pieces out and kind of do whatever we want with them. And that's kind of developed a love for leather and to work with them and just how alive leather is. And it's been really fun to go and grow up with it and then start doing something big and make bigger projects as we get older. And that's kind of how we all got started. It's really meant a lot to me learning from my dad, because it shows a lot of love from his side that he would take the time out of his day. And he has a really busy days. We work really long days, and he'll take the time out to come and show me how to do things. And that is something that has really stuck out to me. And it honestly has made the learning process so much more enjoyable, just knowing that it has come from my dad.
If there's one thing that I want my kids to learn from, the ranch industry and learn to make saddles, it's how to learn. Learn how to learn. Because no matter what path they choose in life, if they can learn how to learn, they'll have the tools to be successful.
The festival presents itself as a tremendous learning platform, all unto itself. I'm Arlene Reiniger, Program Coordinator for Next Generation Artisans in the Traditional Building Trades and Intern Coordinator. I have seen a lot of interns come through the center. Our interns contribute to the production of the festival and the behind-the-scenes work that goes into it. And then once it's up and running, they learn a great deal from our participants who come to present their traditions, their expressive culture. So, they may not realize it in the moment, but our interns contribute a lot to our work. I think we should always include youth in our festivals and in the planning process. They bring a voice and ideas that we need at the table.
It's important that we not always do what we did, right? That's part of the learning. To bring in interns who are asking us questions even as they're learning. That's very much part of the Smithsonian Folklife Festival's intern experience.
One of the things is an outlet for my son to come in what I consider a more than safe environment. It's comfortable, it's free, and he gets to see things that people fly all over the world to see. And it's in our backyard, and he enjoys this. I can't tell you how valuable it is. I just can't express it. It is just something that's so needed.
I've been coming here for decades, and I love it. I mean, it brings in people from all over the world. It's extraordinary. So this year's festival was particularly interesting with its focus on languages and on young people. And I've loved seeing the voice or hearing the voice of young people. I think that's, young people always participated, but this year they were really, elevated, given a platform. And like I said, if you're frustrated with the present, come see the future. And that's, I think, a lot of what this festival is.
Young people being able to see different cultures across the world, but also across America is really important because, it just gives a greater sense of the world. Like, you're able to understand people more, but you're also able to see how we're all connected.
It's a fantastic event for families of all ages. I brought my granddaughter. I brought my other grandchildren when they were approximately her age. So this is a world-class event as far as I'm concerned, and I hope it continues on long after I'm gone.
I hope that people leave the festival with hope. And, you know, we sort of talk about, oh, young people are the future, but they're also the present, and they're the now, and they're doing things in the present and the now.
Thank you so much to everybody for coming. It's been such a fantastic journey for all of us. This whole past week we've been here celebrating youth and the future of culture. Thank you.